God, that went horrible. The one episode where I thought I'd do a good job. Fucking British prick. Hello, I'm Aaron Pringle, and welcome to my channel, where pop culture and cocktails collide. For the children. Today, we're doing another taste of this and a taste of that. This is the playlist where I taste test an adult beverage, and I give you a taste of a piece of pop culture I've discovered. For today's taste of this, we have Ketel 1 grapefruit and rose flavored vodka. Sounds delicious. And for today's taste of that, I'll be trying to play along with an episode of Only Connect, a British game show that is known for being just impossible. It's super hard. Okay, first things first. Let's try some vodka. Don't seem to have grabbed any tasting glasses. We keep it real classy on this channel. That's really nice. I like that. I will say it's mostly a grapefruit vodka with like a hint of rose, which is good because sometimes rose flavored things can taste a little perfumey. The grapefruit flavor is like a bitter grapefruit, like it was flavored with the peels of the grapefruit and not the juices, but it is quite lovely. I grabbed some lemonade to see if I can make a mixer, and I think it'll go well. Oh, that's nice. That's real nice. Also gonna try the lavender syrup. Just a smidge. Oh, that's so good. Okay, alright, that's enough of that. So let's talk about Only Connect. Only Connect is a British game show that I've become obsessed with on YouTube. It's so much fun. The point of the game is basically, for each round there's different rules, but mostly you're just trying to find connections between the clues that they give you. So a real basic example would be if they showed you a banana, an orange, and an apple, you would say they're all fruits. Of course, they make it much more difficult. So instead of my example, they would give you a picture of Steve Jobs, a picture of Florida, and a thong. You would have to figure out then that Steve Jobs owns Apple, Florida is known for its orange juice, and the bikini on a man can sometimes be called a banana hammock. So therefore you still have apple, orange, banana, and you would say they're all fruits. So you can see how it can get pretty difficult, and as we watch this episode, I'm sure it'll be impossible. Although I will say that considering it's a game show that involves having incredibly specific knowledge and categorizing things, if you're on a certain place on the spectrum, it is a dream come true. And so instead of just talking about Only Connect, I found a Christmas special that was all about drinking. So I figured we could try to play along together and see how well I do. I'm sure it'll be terrible, but if it's drinking themed, I might have a chance. Alright, so now that I've got my cocktail, let's try to play along with some Only Connect. That's how I serve all my drinks.
Hello and welcome to Only Connect, the happy hour special. It's not real happiness, it's the artificial purchased happiness of booze. So let's meet the teams. On my right, united by a passion for pints, they are the Alesmen. On my left, a maths teacher who was a passenger in an Australian plane that crash-landed into a cow.
Did you say her plane hit a cow?
United by a craving for cocktails, they are the Cosmopolitans. Let's play the quiz. Alesman, you won the toss. You'll be going first. Cheers.
Cheers.
Drink.
Oh.
If the host drinks, I'm drinking.
Please.
Lion, what is the connection between...
Okay, so I should point out in this round, they're just trying to figure out the connection. So they're just going to start showing clues and they just have to say how they're all connected.
Should we get yourself one more? Should we go for it? Non-alcoholic cocktails.
Oh, come on, coming...
First of all, how dare you? Okay, so I said non-alcoholic cocktails. I'm guessing that's a picture of Arnold Palmer. If I could recognize Mr. Palmer by sight, I would have gotten it too. Bravo, you British bastard. I may have gotten it after Roy Rogers, but I definitely would have gotten it after Shirley Temple.
Cosmopolitans, what would you like?
Twisted flax, please.
The Twisted Flax. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Mia Wallace and Vincent Vega. Is that Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, next, please.
Daniel Plainview, metaphorically. Milkshakes. It's milkshakes, right? I drink your milkshake. The connection is milkshakes. I would have gotten it after 2. I don't know who Alberto Frog is.
Alberto Frog?
Really no.
He's from the 1970s TV show Bod, and he would always drink a milkshake, and you could guess what he'd have. That was the fun thing.
I should say at this point too that obviously because it's like a British game show, there are going to be some pop culture references that I'm just not going to get. And Alberto Frog is squarely in that.
Aylesman, what would you like?
We'll have horned viper, please.
Okay. It's the music question. Good luck getting this for 5 points.
So I don't know if I'll be able to show it, but there was a musical question just then, but they did play some clips that are definitely copyrighted. So I don't know if I'll be able to show it.
I drank this a little bit quickly. Hair of the dog.
Oh, I love her.
Very well done. You get the bonus point, and you may choose your own question. What would you like?
That house is getting
Clues,
lit
please.
today,
Two
and so
reads.
am I.
What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
Over 10,000 euros. Things you have to declare?
Things you have to declare at customs.
Ah!
Require a customs declaration.
Look at me! I'm doing it! Not sure, other than the 1 liter of spirits, what this has to do with drinking. But sticking to a theme only barely is also kind of only connects thing. So,
Aylesman, what would you like next?
Eye of Horus, please.
The Eye of Horus. What is the connection between these clues? Here's the first.
fuzzy. Fuzzy navel? Stray dog. Trooper?
Trooper is a beer by Trooper is a beer.
Hops. Hops.
The beer's by.
The beer is named after, made on behalf of musical acts.
Is the correct answer. What can you tell me about the individual?
Is this how I find out that Hanson made a beer and they called it hop?
You gave me the...
No! That can't be real. Oh no. Hops is a malt-forward English-style pale ale, combining English and American grain with both bread and caramel notes, completed by a unique blend of American hops which provide mild fruit overtones and a complex hoppy finish. Hop, dee-be-da-ba-doo, hops.
Yes, Hanson Brothers Beer Company, of course, yes.
Stupid.
Back to you, Cosmopolitans, for the last question of the round. What's the connection between these clues? First one coming in now.
Ethel Moorhead to Winston Churchill. Ex-wives? I don't know. Things he peed on?
These people, the people on the top, pelted the things on the bottom with food or drink.
Wrong. They egged them. It was eggs.
Okay, this has nothing to do with drinking now. They have completely lost the thread.
At the end of round one, the Cosmopolitans have 5 points. The Aylesmen have 7.
Alright, so that finishes round 1. I think I got 1 question right on accident. Basically that customs one. Everything else has been impossible, at least for me. Okay, so let's move on to round 2. So in round 2, instead of just figuring out what the connections are, they have to specifically say what the last thing in the sequence is gonna be, which means it's even harder to... Let's give it a try.
Round 2 now, the sequences round. Aylesman, you'll be going first again. You'll be seeing a series of images. What would you expect to see in the 4th image? Here's the first.
Okay, so it's a sigma from n equals 1. Same? I don't remember how to do calculus.
The same as the others, except where it says 3n and 2n, it says 4n.
Not the answer, I'm afraid. Cosmopolitans, do you know?
Sum of half n from 1 to 20?
It's not the sum of half n from 1 to 20. So the first one, we're looking at the numbers 1 to 20 doubled. The next one, it's just n. It's not 2n, so it's just the sum of the
1 to
numbers
20.
1 to 20. Third one, we've got 3n, so it's the sum of the numbers 1 to 20 trebled. Ringing no bells? Where do you have doubles, then singles, then trebles?
So
It's a
simply 25
dartboard.
plus 50.
What?
It's the same as the...
Okay, so for this question, you literally have to know, like, first, like, the calculus, know, like, the sum of that is that, and bar games, and how to read it. Jesus.
It's as simple as that.
This is so hard!
So no points there, but Cosmopolitans, what would you like?
2 reads, please.
2.
Yeah. Only connect Tokyo Drift.
Oh
I'm
no!
afraid I can't give you that, so I'm going to show the next two
Bullet-
clues
oh
to
my
Ailsa
God!
for a possible bonus point. No, you don't know. Cosmopolitans, you were so close. You basically gave me the third clue
How
as the
did they
answer.
know that off
What
the
is
first
this
one?
sequence?
That's
It's the Fast and the Furious with Only and Connect
With
instead
a-
of Fast and Furious.
Exact. Fourth in the sequence would be just Fast and Furious
Insanity.
only and Connect. Aylesman, what would you like next? What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
I have no idea who Liz McColgan is, so... Paula Radcliffe from HR?
2 seconds.
Jessica Ennis.
Not it, I'm afraid. Cosmopolitans, do you know?
13, Christina Hurugu.
That's not it. Aylesman, I think you know what the sequence is. What do you think it is?
It's the winners of the sports women winners of the Sports Personality of the Year award.
That's
the
exactly
30.
right. Tyndall or Phillips, as it would have been in 2006.
So hard.
Cosmopolitans, what would you like?
Lion, please.
Lion. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Coffee.
Should we go next? Next.
So neat on the rocks. Up. Highest rated Egyptian export? Is it linen?
I really have nothing.
This would be a very hard one to make up if you don't spot it. Aylesman, do you know?
The finest original Ukrainian rum.
Delicious. We ourselves chose a flagon of unpasteurised rum. Just
Okay.
as nice. What's happening here?
Well, the initial letters spell out 1, then 2, then 3, and then obviously
Son of a
4.
That's
bitch!
exactly it. They are drinks, but it's just about the words.
Son
You
of
look
a
at the beginnings
bitch!
of those words. ONETWO, 3, and then something that starts
game's too
FOUR.
hard.
Very well done.
How's anyone supposed to play
So you get the
this?
bonus, and what would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Azaccio?
Close again.
It's going downhill fast.
Palermo,
How?
Is the right answer. Very well done. And why?
because they're the 4 largest islands in the Mediterranean.
Cagliari and then Palermo. Nothing to do with drinks.
At least she said it had nothing to do with drinks, and I'm terrible at geography. I will always get the geography ones wrong.
Cosmopolitans, a drop of water for you, I'm afraid. What would come forth in this sequence? Here's the first.
Okay, I can't wait until 8 o'clock to eat.
Next.
I enjoy attending plays, but always arrive on time.
And this is why I am a hobo.
A very nice answer. We went for these reasons, the woman is low class. What's happening here?
It's that lady is a tramp.
We are paraphrasing. The lady is a tramp. She gets too hungry for dinner at 8. That's what's happening there. She likes the theatre, but never comes late.
She never
bothers with people she hates. That's why the lady is a tramp. All paraphrased. Very well done.
I'm doing horrible
That
at
means
this.
at the end of round 2, the Cosmopolitans have 8 points.
Okay.
The Aylesmen have 11.
Okay, so the third round in Only Connect is the connection wall. Basically, they give you 16 clues just like in a grid, and you have to group them into 4 different categories with 4 things in each. And as you'll see, as with the other ones, they can be insanely difficult. We'll see how we do.
Time now for the connecting wall, and it'll be the Cosmopolitans to go first. 2.5 minutes, starting
Okay.
now.
Okay, so for the wall, it can be a lot of things. Like, clues can work a few different ways. So, like, Wheel of Fortune, Pyramid, The Wall, and something else are game shows. So they're doing the tarot cards now. Smart. So it's not game shows, or it might still be game shows. Oh, Wonders of the World. I was way off. So it still might be game shows, just Wheel of Fortune wasn't one of them. So, Pyramid, The Wall, 21, and Greed, I'm guessing, are games. So you'll notice like Wheel of Fortune could have gone in there, but it actually went in something else. And they also do that purposely just to fuck with you.
The wall has frozen, but you found 2 groups. That's 2 points. What about the connections? Strength, the Lovers, Wheel of Fortune, Justice.
Our tarot cards.
There are cards in the tarot. And the next one, Temple Gardens, Lighthouse, Mausoleum.
They are for the 7 wonders of the world.
The wonders
All 4
of the
them.
ancient world. And you can still get points for the connections in the groups you didn't find, so let's resolve the wall. Agreed. 21, the wall pyramid.
Games?
Well, I'll give you the point because they are games. They're games that are played on game shows, American game shows. And the last one, Alexandre Dumas, Madeleine, Bastille and Garibaldi.
French.
Are they Paris metro stations?
Oh. I think I should have gotten partial points for French.
Let's bring in their opponents now, give them the other wall, see how they get on with solving it. You've got 2.5 minutes to finish that off, starting now.
I will point out at this point that none of these things have anything to do with drinking. They've completely abandoned their theme, which is rude because I'm doing terribly. I was hoping that I could get some of these right instead of just flailing about on my channel. Wasn't trying to be embarrassed by how stupid I am, but here we are. So I don't know any of these. Farming? Oh yeah, subsistence farmer, dairy farmer, Pied Piper.
3 lives now.
So we've got singleton, rubber, trump, and one of these.
And the wall has frozen, but you found 2 groups. What about the connection? Intensive, subsistence, dairy, arable.
Type of farming.
Types of farming. And the next group, piper, equerry, and so on.
They're like servants.
They're royal household staff, that's right. And you can still get points for the connections in the groups you didn't find, so let's resolve the wall. Bacon, groom, hill, salmon. They are Blue Peter presenters.
Oh, they're Blue Peter presenters, of course, love.
And the last group, trump, singleton, sandwich, rubber.
Well, bridge terms, contract bridge.
That's right.
I wouldn't have gotten any of those things. I know nothing about bridge. I know nothing about whatever the hell that third one was.
Let's have a look at the overall scores. The Cosmopolitans have 14 points, the Alesmen have 17.
So the last round is the missing vowels round, and they give you a category and just a phrase or a word with all the vowels gone, and you just have to guess what it is. It is the easiest round by far. You can get the most points here, and really, like, the whole game comes down to this round.
So pretty close going into the missing vowels round. Fingers on buzzers teams. The first group are all together a self-referential limerick.
So our first group is a self-referential limerick.
I'll start you off. This one is, there once was a missing vowels round. Next clue. Cosmopolitans?
With answers that couldn't be found.
Correct. Alesmen?
That must
With
read
no...
their best.
That doesn't quite follow, I'm afraid. I can't give you that.
That
Cosmopolitans?
most...
No. The teams tried their best.
But
Cosmopolitans?
just
Just
got...
got more stressed.
Well, that didn't work, the host frowned. Next category, questions a barman might ask.
Single or double? Here we go.
Cosmopolitans?
Here we
Single
go.
or double?
Here we go.
Correct. Cosmopolitans?
Are you doing the quiz night?
I'm afraid you said, are you doing the quiz night a little bit before the others? That's not the answer. I can't give it to you. Alesmen?
Are you doing the quiz tonight?
Oh, I need to hear the T. I'm sorry. Next clue. Is Pepsi okay? Next clue.
Why the long face?
Alesmen?
Why the long face?
That's right. Next category, pairs of rival groups. Cosmopolitans?
Alesmen and Cosmopolitan.
Of course.
Corpses and Bloods? Crips and Bloods, obviously.
Crips and Bloods.
Okay, so typically that round does go faster and there's more points. Obviously, the first one was too clever for the game show's own good, and no one got them.
Looking at the scores, the Cosmopolitans have 18 points, the Alesmen have 18 points. It's a tie.
A tie.
There is going to be one tie-break clue. This is for the captains only. Fingers on buzzers, captains. Your tie-break clue is coming in now. Cosmopolitans?
The time has come, the walrus said.
Is the right answer.
So that's Only Connect, you know, it's fun. in the way that you will get horribly pissed off and frustrated because you won't know anything. But like the few times you know something, you feel so smart and you feel like the most best person in the world. I don't know. I love this show. I rarely get more than a few questions, but I do love it and it's fun. Watching this show really is about like chasing that little high you get when you get a question right. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of A Taste of This and A Taste of That. Today we're recommending both Ketel 1 Grapefruit and Rose vodka, especially with lemonade and a splash of lavender syrup. This was amazing. And Only Connect, the British game show where you're not really expected to get any of the questions right because they're just too damn hard. If you're liking this channel, be sure to like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions for something I should taste, or give you a taste of, please let me know in the comments down below. If you're a regular viewer of this channel and are wondering where Cinemixology is, I'll have a new one coming out in a couple weeks. It's just been real busy with the end of summer. I'm trying. So until next time, I'm Aaron Pringle, and I'll see you later.